and welcome to Obsessive Audio. Eric here. Today we have, from Korneff Audio, the WOW Thing. Now, this came out a few weeks ago. It's quite the plugin. Very interesting, very cool. You've probably heard it in use before and not known it, especially on rock mixes. The WOW Thing is a bass enhancer, stereo enhancer. Korneff Audio have it still for sale at the introductory price for $9.99. Well worth it, especially if you mix rock, although I can see it working for all kinds of genres. But especially rock, if you've probably heard the WOW Thing in action on some very big rock and metal records. The WOW Thing itself, obviously not a professional studio gear. It is consumer gear, hi-fi gear. It has 1/8-inch inputs and outputs, and it was intended for using with headphones, computer speakers, that sort of thing. The interesting point of the WOW Thing, in my mind, is that this is a favorite trick of engineer, producer, mixer Randy Staub. Metallica records, Nickelback records. He worked with Bob Rock. You get the Motley Crue in there. He revealed the secret to the WOW Thing some time ago in an interview, and it's how do you tackle the stereo imaging of your guitars if the bass and guitars are treated together? Well, I'll share a secret. A number of years ago, I was listening to something on my computer. It didn't sound too good, but it was super wide in the stereo image, and it was made by a company called SRS Labs. It was an audio device called the WOW Thing, almost 3D, spatial left and right kind of thing. I went to their website. They sold this little box for $20, and I bought one. It was designed for people to listen to music on their headphones, but it had this bottom end EQ, and that bottom end EQ on here is really cool, and we're going to get into it. We're going to see right off the bat here the frequency response. If you load it up flat without any of the true bass, it's still pretty scooped right off the bat. And if you start to add the true bass, this is what you get. Quite the frequency response. Now, I've been working with the WOW Thing for a bunch of days. I have a mix going on here. So I will get up. Very basic rock mix. It's not an album mix or anything, but it has kick, snare, 2 toms. WOW Thing is on. I figured why not put it on everything. WOW kick, WOW snare, WOW toms, WOW bass, WOW guitars. And let's hear it with the WOW Thing on. And we're going to hear it with the WOW Thing off. All of the WOW instances will now be turned off. Turn on. So yeah, what it's adding to the mix, in my mind, I'd have to work pretty hard to try and get this with EQs and spatializers that put the WOW Thing on there. And I fooled around with the the different true bass settings. You can set the frequency. We'll get to all of the controls, but I just like the way that it just pushes everything very much forward in the mix.
It's too much, it's too much. Too much power, too much class. It's all too much, too much.
So let's just zone in on the controls for a minute for the WOW Thing. input meter and level, output meter and level. On the bottom here, you've got your presets. You can go through different presets, scroll through or save them. Up here, you've got the information of the plugin. Cloud services, which I don't think they have activated yet. Bug reporting, licensing, tool tips. This light bulb will give you tool tips and tell you what everything does. The manual you can call up right there. That's always nice to have. I love when a plugin loads up the manual. Undo and redo. Wet dry mix, which is very cool. I haven't really used it a lot on this mix. Everything is pretty much wet, but I wanted to hear maximum wow. And up here, two different types of wow processing type. Now the wow is here. It can be bypassed. And that is your stereo effect. And what I noticed, type 1 is brighter, I think, than type 2. So it does have to do, it introduces a lot of phase trickery and that sort of thing. And the high frequencies seem to come out more on type 1. So on bass, I think I'd probably use type 2 because it didn't need all the high frequencies. And over here, you can select your true bass frequency. Drop down menu. The initial version of this plugin had it in the back panel of the plugin. See, clicking up here on the Korneff logo, it pulls up the back panel. And until yesterday, the back panel was where these two controls lived. And I was thinking to myself over those days where I've been playing with this, it's like, really, they should move that up to the front. I want, because this true bass frequency in particular is definitely something that makes a big difference, and I'm glad that they moved it into the front. Obviously, somebody else must have suggested the same thing, probably a bunch of people. So you got on-off here, which is your bypass, or you can bypass only the wow process. And I think if it's a mono instrument, probably you're pretty safe bypassing it. That didn't even click in. So I've actually got the wow on the kick and on the snare. And you can turn the level of the wow up or down. True bass here and overall volume output. But why don't we solo up the bass? No, let's do the kick. Let's solo the kick drum. This is the wow thing for the kick. Off. On. So you can definitely hear that scoop working, a lot of mids that are being taken out. Let's play with the true bass because I think that's probably the name of the game here for kick drum. Maximum wow, or maximum true bass, set at 60 hertz. What if we were to move that up to 150? So it's really interesting what it does. It goes all the way up to 400, which of course isn't going to sound great on a kick, but and all the way down to 40 hertz. Which these headphones are just low enough to pick up, but I will move it back. What did I have at 60? Probably around here. Something like that. Similarly for the snare, we can go there and solo that up. Let's bypass. On. Not really using a lot of effect here. Just that kind of lower fundamental of the snare, 200 hertz. So the same thing happened with the toms. Let's see if we can isolate some toms here. And we will bypass it. Back on. So you generally get the idea there. Guitars would be One thing that is in stereo, this is just a doubled guitar, same guitar in the left and right. Let's solo that up. And we're going to play with the WOW thing right now, the WOW level. I don't know, for me, definitely without it, it kind of monoizes it. And then it gets nice right around here for me. And you can... Here it sort of shifts not only the left-right wideness, but almost how up front it is or isn't. Pretty cool. For me, I've been favoring, for now anyway, right around here in terms of the amount of WOW on most of the things. True bass, let's play with that. So I think if you had a really down-tuned kind of metal thing, some of these lower frequencies, the 60s really low. Although if you had 7 strings or 8, you'd probably be picking up more of that 60. But on this tune, though, I think I settled around 150, and I didn't give it very much. Because notice here, I'm just going to turn it up just slightly, and you can hear the difference in the texture. Off. So yeah, I think the WOW thing is a winner. $9.99. I don't think you can really go wrong with it. I would say just go and grab it. I'm going to put the link down below. And let's hear again without and with. This is without. I'm going to turn all the WOW things on. So there you have it, the WOW thing from Korneff Audio. Highly recommend it. I hope this was helpful. Make sure you subscribe and all that stuff, and we will see you next time on Obsessive Audio.